John.
Boss.
John.
Big man.
Master, what be my name? John.
Augustine.
Thank
But then score you.
Then score me.
Then score your team.
With him.
Kotoko.
Oh, may I not be Kotoko fan?
You be Ashanti go there.
Of course. Thank you very much. So we are going to Kotoko, as you say. But before that, kindly do all to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Let us know your thoughts also in the comment section, and let us know we are watching also as well. All right, this is a new channel, so let's build it together. GPL Extra Plus. So John, Nations versus Kotoko Sunday. Where Easter football.
Correct.
Easter football. But how things they go there, Kotoko? Then they cause what team?
Kotoko. Oh. I say mo Kotoko issue in the no easy, but this season Kotoko have been good. They've challenged up to this point. They are still title contenders, genuine title contenders. And I think the game against Accra Lions was a blip, but certainly was certain to come back. No, I don't think anyone expected Accra Lions to put 3 past Asante Kotoko. And if you look at that game coming into this game, I watched the game against Accra Lions. I don't know. It was like the Accra Lions boys were more hungrier than Kotoko. Even though Kotoko are challenging for the Ghana Premier League title, it was like the Nations FC team, the Accra Lions team were more hungry. And you look at the goals Heartoful Kotoko conceded. It was very shaky. Defensively, they were not organized in that game. Some goals they considered were avoidable. And if they are going into this game and they are going to defend like this against Nations FC, then they should prepare for even more than 3 goals. But
they should prepare for more
than even 3 goals
from Nations
FC. But I think Prosper Nateogum, he's a man who learns from his mistakes, and I'm sure he would watch that game again and say, "Come on, they played well, but unfortunately, some defensive lapses is what caused them on the day, and I think they could have won that game. Everyone thought they could have won that game, but because of some defensive issues, they could not win. And I think Nations FC, you look at it, Nations FC have beaten them already this season. Yeah, I think it was when they were at the Boasil in Clay Sports Stadium, and they beat them by, I think, 2-0. Yeah, 2-0. So it shows they've already beaten them. So, and they are now coming to the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Stadium, a former director at Asante Kotoko. So it's going to be a match of because, and I've been a huge fan of Kasim Mengo. I think he's one of the brightest, upcoming, enterprising.
Is Kasim Mengo still upcoming? No, like for right now, check like he passed upcoming.
He passed upcoming.
Because
in the Premier League, but there are some coach.
In the Premier League, he was consistent with Bichim for the 3 seasons, always finishing in the top 6. Okay, so
and what he has done with Nations FC just
and yet he came his first season, he didn't disgrace himself. Last season
they were fantastic. They did not lose the home game.
Yeah. He did very well, and this is into his.
They are in contention to win the title.
So I think Council Mengo
is one of the best
beyond
upcoming. So that means I love his personality. I love what he's doing at Nations FC. How he has been able to transform them, and right now they are being one of the talk of the towns, one of the new boys. So this match is going to be very, very interesting. 2 teams who know each other.
Second place versus
third place. And once you look at Nations FC's run of games, and you look at Asante Kotoko's run of games.
So let's look at their last 5.
Their last 5.
Nations FC, they've won 4 times and drawn 1. They played 1-0 with Vision FC. They beat Asford by a goal to 0. They also beat Kerala by a goal to 0. They beat Swataman by 3 goals to 0, which was just by default. Yeah. And then they beat Dreams FC by 1 goal to 0. You look at Kotoko, their last 5, they've won twice. They've drawn twice and lost 1. They beat Trudemont in the FA Cup by 2-1. They beat Bekum Chelsea by 1-0. They drew with Heart of Lions. They drew with Bichim and then lost to Accra Lions. So they should tell us that even the last 5 games, looking at that, FC are in a better form than Kotoko. And there's factors such that since Nations were promoted to the Ghana Premier League, they've never been beaten by Kotoko. They have an unbeaten record against Kotoko, right? And their first game they played, I remember it was a 90 plus fifth goal, yes, by I've forgotten the player. A goal from Deze Mukola brought Kotoko 2-1, and then they equalized. A very controversial game at Dr. Kwame 2-2. Asama Boateng and Free made sure that they beat Kotoko by a good 0 in Kumasi. And in this season, their first game they played, yes, in Obuasi, some defense and goalkeeping mistakes and others, but Nation dominated the game.
Yeah.
They beat Kotoko by 2 goals to none. This is their fourth game they are playing. And in the current terms and conditions, the current situation of both teams, I think Nations FC are um, on a better run than Kotoko, which also influences the kind of momentum you pump into the game, which affect the mentality the player will go into the game with. Kotoko will think that they'd have to do everything to turn things around to get them on track for the title contention once again. But mind you, the guys from Nations FC will do everything possible to get their wins. But where it's very crucial a bit is the fact that when you expect Nations FC to get the result at home,
Capitalize, then
that's when they fall short. I remember when they lost their first game at home, and it was against Bekum Chelsea. Every analyst in Ghana took Nations FC to win that game. That was the time where Bekum Chelsea was not even in a good form. They beat them by a goal to at the Country Sports Complex. At the point where they had to beat Young Apostles to extend their lead at the top, they lost that game.
Season.
Yes,
Yeah,
they lost that game by 2 goals. So I think Nations FC, they are also some way. When you expect them to take it further, they tend to misbehave. But going to this game, I think they should do everything possible, especially if you talk about if you are comparing the technical team, right? And the Nations FC, it's a team that I would even say have a better technical team than Kotoko. I'm not talking about just the head coach because they had an assistant. You talk about a head coach of Wakans Bengal and then add Johnson Smith. Johnson Smith is someone who has been in a Ghanaian football for
a long
since. And he knows how to play the Ghana football. And their recruitment also has been solid. Mind you, when they come into the second half, they realized that the first half was a bit jittery because they're depending solely on Faisal Achawati. What did they do? They then went into Bechim to sign a free player from the Manuano. Ano came, he's a guy who has expected to come to mingle already in Bechim. He came and then he has been on. Yes, he has been very good. Now, Faisal Achawati is also back scoring. He scored in their game against Dreams FC. A very good run. He dropped back in the box and then buried it with his left foot, which is very perfect for a guy like him. But they went to they signed Christopher Nete, a guy who has even won the Kotoko JC before, a very solid and experienced right back. They signed when he's doing perfectly well. Before they went to Olympics, signed Oku Grip 1. To Bechem, they signed Samuel Seko for, and mind you, there's still Razak Simpson in there.
Yeah.
So I think these guys have got everything possible to compete toe-to-toe with Kotoko.
To win the league. And what is even interesting for me is both teams, their next 5 games.
Okay.
You look at Asante Kotoko, their next, or their end, I think it's left with 7 games to the end of the season. Both teams, their next 7 games. You look at Asante Kotoko, they have Bibini Gold Stars to play. They have Dreams FC to play. They have Adriana to play. They will also be playing Nations FC. And mind you, they also have a FA Cup match.
And they also have Heart of Folk to play.
And I think they also have Midiama too to play. Yeah. So it's going to be a very difficult match. Now you look at Nations FC on the other hand. They have the likes of Accra Lions, they have the likes of the Gun City, they have the likes of Samatex, and some other beatable teams. Bekum.
So they have Accra Lions, they have Samatex, they have Holy Stars. And then their last game will be against Heart of Lions.
So comparing the two, you look at what Gold Stars. You look at Kotoko. Gold Stars are in the title race. Nations FC, who they'll be facing, are in the title race. Midiama are in very good form. Dreams FC, one of the best informed teams. So it's going to be very difficult.
And they'll be playing Heart of Folk.
For them, and they'll be playing Heart of Folk. And as it stands now, every Heart of Folk fan is a BBN Gold Star fan. Yes.
So you're BBN Gold Star.
I don't know about that. Me, I do. No one knows the team I support. So, and as it stands now, I can tell you confidently that 90% of Heart of Folk fans will be rooting for BBN Gold Stars to win the Ghana Premier League.
Why won't them root for themselves?
Well, they are not. I think as it stands now, Heart of Folk, I think their fans themselves know that. They cannot win the title. Yes.
Heart of Folk are not part of the title contention.
To me, I think Heart of Folk.
Because Heart of Folk have 41.
They have 41 points.
BBN Gold Stars have 50. That's 9 point difference.
9 points. So you think Heart of Folk can win 3 games in a row and BBN Gold Stars will not win their next 3 games?
But is that not possible, especially looking at Heart of Folk?
In the Ghana Premier League, no problem. Anything is possible. But
Yes.
if Hearts of Oak were in a better, I don't think the position they are in now, it will be sorted. Right now, I think their main focus would be how to maybe finish in the top four so that.
But if you look at
the
the kind of fixtures they have to play, they'll play Karela, which is very beatable.
Yeah.
They'll play Kotoko, which is also beatable.
So that means Kotoko's next after Nation they'll play Hearts of Oak.
After Nation, Kotoko will play Diana before
Hearts of Oak.
And then after that, they'll play Brecum Chelsea, which is also winnable. Yes. Mind you, last season it was around this time that they went there and beat them by 3-0. Yes. After that, they'll be playing Accra Lions, also winnable. Legon Cities, also winnable. And Samatex in Accra, it's also beatable.
So you think even if they win all these games, Bibini Gold Stars to Nations FC and Kotoko will not try and do that? I don't think Azubu can go in a two.
Gold Stars could fall short even to Kotoko in BBN.
Do you think how to folk?
No, wait. So okay. I've spoken about how to folk. BBN Gold Stars how to play Mediama. Which is a very tough game. Yes, they can drop points there. That's possible. Yes, again, Vision FC in Tema New Town.
Vision FC have shown that the big boy when the big boys come to town,
Tema New Town is very different. The only game here that is Fala for them is Karela. In BBN, they'll beat them.
Accra Lions,
they'll beat them. Brecum Chelsea in Brecum is also a different body.
So you think Azubu can go to Brecum but BBN cannot go to Brecum?
Because they've done it before.
So BBN Ghost have not done it.
No. We can check the records. BBN Ghost have not beaten Brecum Chelsea in Brecum before. So I think these are all the things that we should look at when we want to talk about the game. You see, so they've met once in Brecum. They beat them by 2-0, and that's why I believe that they could still beat them, especially if they are playing at Brecum.
Let's see. But I think House of Folk are not in contention because if even winning back-to-back games is very difficult for them. So it's going to be a very difficult task for both Asante Kotoko and Nations FC, and because both of them would want the title, and because in this weekend the title, the table could change with each of them winning, or by if each of them draw. For the neutral or for the BBN Gold Stars fan, he would like the game to end in a draw. So I think this game, if you push me to the wall, based on the records and everything, I think Nations FC have it to them to beat Asante Kotoko.
Nations FC will beat Kotoko.
Yeah,
do you have a scoreline prediction?
I think they will beat. I think 2-1.
2-1 for Nations FC.
Yeah, but Asante Kotoko will score first.
Then there will be a comeback.
All
right, so that was John for giving us that. So, thank you so much for joining us on this one. So I guess then I did this with the Heart of Folk man, John. We are out. We'll see you in the next one.